I'm always keeping my eye on the horizon for what the next MMORPG that I'll be playing might be, and I've come across something that I wanted to share with you guys by the name of Revelation Online. This is an upcoming Eastern MMO that appears to be getting a Western release, and it's being developed by NetEase, who you may have heard that name before because they're actually the publisher of the World of Warcraft in China. Interesting things about this game is that it features a seamless open world with no loading screens as you pass between zones. It's got a flying system that you see in a lot of Eastern MMOs. It also has a nice look to it, erring more on the side of realism than cartoony, with an Asian medieval feel that sort of reminds me of ArcAge. Now here in this video, I want to cover all of the basics about the game just to give you a good understanding of what Revelation Online is and what to expect with this MMO compared to others. Let's go ahead and start things off with the basics. As I said, this is an Eastern MMORPG, a seamless open world. It's got this Asian medieval style to it, and it actually features a 3-option targeting system for combat. There's classic tab targeting, a non-target combat system, and then a hybrid of the two, which is similar to Guild Wars 2. So the idea here is they're trying to cater to the different types of playstyles that you see in modern MMOs: tab target, action, and then hybrid. And depending on which one that you like, you'll get to choose between the three. And it seems to be the case that, you know, maybe a lot of the melee focused classes or even some of the casters can go with the more action combat, but there's a good chance if you're playing a healer, for example, you'll probably want generic tab targeting so that you can click on the individual members of your party. But I guess it's nice that they're giving 3 different options. The game has 6 current classes from what I could see. There is the Gunner, who is a shooter class, damaging from long range and also making turrets and traps. A Paladin tank class, who is a close quarters combat with lots of tankiness and protection and the ability to taunt. A Necromancer, who is a ranged caster that inflicts damage through curses and then can also buff and heal allies, so sort of a mix of the two. There's the Lightblader, which is this melee warrior class dealing direct damage at close combat. The Elemental Swordmaster, a caster as well with direct damage that's also long range combat. And then lastly, the Summoner, defined as a support class that can summon creatures, then also heal and buff allies. So those are the 6 classes in the game. Now, once you pick your class, how are you going to develop your character? They've got the ability to create different builds that are going to have significantly different gameplay. So as we mentioned, for example, with the Necromancer and Summoner, you could choose to be summoning creatures or dealing damage, or healing and buffing your allies, depending on how you build your character. Skills in this game can have a boost effect to them, basically making the basic skills stronger. There's also skill modification that you're going to unlock. For example, you can customize abilities upon reaching level 50. There's also the skill sharpening to improve skills, sort of like you would enhance weapons. You can do a similar thing to skills in this game. And then there are these strong skills, which are also called unparalleled skills, are like ultimate abilities. You'll obtain them through reading this special book of skills. They are boosted separately from the basic skills that you have. Now, what are the different ways to play the game? Well, there's PvE and PvP. So we'll start off with the PvE side of thing, which are going to break down into effectively dungeons and raids. And I also want to talk about the leveling system in this game. So the leveling in this game is interesting because they're actually shying away from the grind, which is something that you typically see as a focal point in a lot of Eastern MMOs. But they have said that leveling can be done entirely through questing. So from creating your character all the way up to max level, you can do this just by doing quests in the game. There's also dungeons and raids that'll be happening, a total of 8 dungeons in the game with different difficulty levels from easy, difficult to divine. Most of the dungeons in the game are going to be done in groups of 5. However, the raid content is made for 10 people, and then there's also a 1 raid that's specifically designed for 20 people. So varying different types of PVE content there. Also worth noting, they've got things similar to Guild Wars 2 jumping puzzle events, where you can go around into these special instances and, you know, jump around. Jump around. So that's the PvE stuff, which is, again, I like the idea that, hey, they've got quests that'll take you from character creation to max level. That's nice that they're not focusing on grinding. Certainly you could go around and kill mobs if you want, but if you just want to do quests, then that can carry you all the way. Now let's go ahead and move on into the PvP. PvP is divided into various segments. So we've got, first off, there's an arena PvP system, which is is a 1v1 or 3v3 mode. You'll go in and either by yourself in a duel sort of situation or with a group, you try to defeat the opposing team. And then there's also territorial wars, which are basically these castle sieges similar to that seen in Lineage 2. These have no player cap, and they're basically just big fights for these controllable areas. There's 9 controllable areas that'll be in the game, and these specific hotspots where basically you'll expect to see big guilds go and battle and vie for control over. The game also has battlegrounds, which will be 20 versus 20 zone control game modes. There's a MOBA mode, and this is 10 versus 10, where each player starts off with 150 resources, and your goal is to use up all of your enemy resources, which I'm assuming every time you kill an enemy player, they will lose some of their resources. I didn't get too many details on it, but those were the basics that I could find. And then lastly, there is an open world PvP system. Basically, you can attack anybody, but if you attack unprovoked and they don't fight you back, you'll receive a debuff. Now, this debuff can be either cleared by completing a special quest, or it will just deteriorate over time, and then once it's dropped, you're safe. However, if you die while you have this debuff for basically attacking someone and them not fighting you back, then there's a chance that you're gonna drop an item in your possession upon death. So yes, you can go around like griefing players while they're trying to quest or whatever, but if they don't fight back and if you don't get that cleared, then you're gonna start losing items. So it's a kind of a risk reward system. Do you want to engage in this PvP? And are you going to be able to clear it? Or, you know, it's actually, I kind of like that. I kind of like when there's weight to those decisions. It's one of the things that I actually really liked about ArcAge open world PvP as well. Something else that I want to mention that's kind of interesting to this game, I'm a little on the fence on because I've argued against this type of thing in MMOs before, but this game does have a big focus on flight, and there's also aerial combat. So you can basically get these wings starting at level 29, and then all of the classes have these unique aerial skills that they'll have while in battle. Now, they're saying that there's no flight restrictions. Because this is a big seamless open world with no loading screen, it basically just means you can fly anywhere at any given time. I, in general, am on the fence about flying, but it's in this game, and I wanted to share with you guys because this is not so much about my opinion as it is about telling you about the game. Now, beyond flying, there's also basic mounts that would be ground mounts, and there's actually huge mounts. There's flying mounts in this game that can carry up to 50 people. Now, that I think is kind of cool. That's almost like a flying boat, if you will. So, Revelation Online is a game that wasn't on my radar until recently because, like I said, I am always keeping my eye on the horizon for the next MMO that I might be interested in. There's some pretty cool things about this game that I'm liking the look of, and that's why I wanted to make this video to share it with you guys. I guess that's gonna do it. That's pretty much everything that I know so far and everything I think you need to know. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please be sure to leave your thoughts and opinions on what we talked about here, and based on that information, are you looking forward to this game at the moment? All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. Hope you all have a fantastic afternoon, and until next time, I'll see you later.